What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 24 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Karl Franz Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, we fought against the hordes of destruction, the Skaven, the Undead, the Norskins up in the north. Lots of big armies on the Greenskins, I believe. Lots of big armies of enemies, effectively, and everyone a victory, I might add. A couple of them heroic as well. It was a pretty nice battle-heavy episode, and it looks like we've got more fighting to do before we can end the turn as Mr... Where are we here? Somewhere out here, maybe? I've lost the spot. Ah, there it is. Right beside Kappelburg, we've got Colt Huldorf, who is right near the Nemesis Crown dig site, and we're going to dig it up and then chuck it in a vault again for it to reappear in then 20 turns or whatever it is. And, well, I'm interested to see whether this army can pull it off, since it doesn't have a mage and is newly minted. It does have some buffs, and I still haven't completely decided whether we're going to keep this lord to command it, but it is nonetheless what we will do. So, I'm going to move on in. Huh, are you able to use stances while doing this? I don't know, I guess we're about to find out. It would be helpful here. Unfortunately, the engineer is only rank 2, so he doesn't have the good stuff to buff us, and it looks like you can be in stances. Alright, well, good to know. And the enemy fails to spot our ambush, and it does look like a similar army to last time, although we have more big units than last time. This time we have 3 rogue idols plus 2 Arachnaroks and a giant. I think last time we fought this, we had 3 rogue idols and 1 Arachnarok, and that was the limits of the big boys. And I don't remember if we had trolls or not, but yeah, this is like a half stack full of nothing but giant units. That said, with a lot of handgunners and halberdiers, hopefully we'll be able to hold them off. And, oh right, the garrison will come in as a reinforcement, though I'd wager that since this is an ambush, it's not going to do much. Before we get started, 2 minor housekeeping things, first of all. Well, 1 sort of minor, but anyway. First of all, we still got a few episodes banked, so while we have dropped below the threshold at this point, we will continue with the longer episodes for a little bit. And the more important thing is that we have, at this point, decided the next 2 campaigns, as we've reached about 2,000 votes on the poll, and at this point I'm going to close it. So the Dark Elves and the Skaven will be our next campaigns, and the Lord vote, probably for Dark Elves first, should be up in this in the posts/community tab about now. So do make your voices heard and vote for your preferred Dark Elf Lord. Anyway, let's get to this. Alrighty, here we go. Ambush against a big old pile of monsters. Let's see how that works out for us. This is also going to be the debut battle of the company, Altdorf Company of Honor here, whose armor texture seems to be broken. I don't think it's supposed to be all black like that. I think it's supposed to be silverish or steel colored like the regular halberdier's armor. It sometimes textures break in particular battles, but anyway, hopefully they do well. They have plenty of melee defense at 83 now, apparently, and 95 armor, so they should be able to hold the enemy back, but how many monsters can we hold back? Admittedly, we start by focusing all the artillery and our handgunners on those Arachnaroks, both of which go down rather quickly. Unfortunately, the pump wagons have made it through our lines of halberds and are now going to annoy at least one of our units of handgunners, while the rest continue to go after all of those enemy monsters down there. Good view up on the hill, so I guess it pays to be a artillery crew sometimes. Looks like the Altdorf Company of Honor has well held back that first of the enemy big boys, and take a little bit of damage as it falls and crumbles upon them, and now there are 2 of the rogue idols remaining, as well as of course the giant, but not the giant for too much longer, as it is nearly done for as well. And there we go, the giant will topple. And it looks like another big boy will topple as well, and then there was 1. At the very least of the big monsters. They've been largely the focus of this particular battle, but there are plenty of, regular night gobos, archers, some trolls running around and stuff. We just have to make sure we knock these big old targets out. There we go. Halberdiers flying around all over the place, being knocked about. But it looks like we're okay, even though these guys have taken pretty massive damage. Another unit of halberdiers getting absolutely obliterated by those darn spinning loons, as I've pointed out and as we've seen in many a battle against the greenskins in this particular campaign. It's generally not the orcs, not even the black orcs, or the big uns that dish out the damage as much in the orky infantry, but it is those spinning loons which get released and then just absolutely decimate the HP of our troops. And it looks like this unit of halberdiers, well, it's still got 25 units, so it might survive. I guess we're going to have to see. The units of handguns are just going to have to block those gobs off for as long as we can. Fortunately, the battle is going in our favor, and as the bounce power is at about 90% in our favor now. The Company of Honor is fighting together with the halberdiers. I feel like they're a little bit low on armor, though. Although maybe if they're like an honor guard, maybe they're not supposed to be, I mean, they're dressed garishly, so maybe they're supposed to show off. I'm just saying that their armor, their helmets seem a little bit lighter than the regular halberdier helmets, or even if not, maybe it's just the fact... Oh, I see. The regular halberds seem to have a gorget element to their armor, whereas these guys do not, so their neck is wide open for a stabbing, and gotta be careful about it. But anyway, it's an ambush, and ambushes go quick, so with that, the enemy army will shatter, and the battle, and just like that, is ours. And certainly a close fight, if a very quick one, and once again, gotta love these little bonus battles and that we get out of the crown. I feel like considering how much damage all of our halberds took, we were lucky that we ended up holding on to all these halberdiers to eventually transfer to another army, i.e. this army, because if we had newly recruited them at low ranks, this would have gotten a lot uglier. Hey, another Van Horstman's Speculum. Nice find. Gotta appreciate that one. And was a pretty darn good fight. The Altdorf Company of Honor was certainly able to hold the center as the enemy approached. And while we did take a massive amount of damage on several of the halberdiers, making the battle a little bit closer than perhaps otherwise we would like, it was a really good fight. And of course, the massive damage from the... Well, actually, the handgunners significantly outdamaged most of the artillery pieces, I guess. Due to, well, sniping those big old targets there. And the fact that, of course, we started a lot closer to the enemy, meaning there was no lead-up time in which only the artillery were firing and the handgunners were not. Still, really nice fight. Gotta appreciate that Nemesis Crown for always coming up with those. I guess while I'd like the money, we should probably heal because we need to auto-resolve the remnants of this army. I don't remember if they disappear afterwards, but we should still chase them down just in case. And we will seal the crown yet again. Hey, and we get money for that as well. Lovely. How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, Crown? Anyway, Van Horstman's Speculum will go on one of our warrior priests who we've been given those to. And oh, we actually can't reach this. I guess I should have taken the money after all. Oh well, you can set... stay in Kappelburg, I guess. They don't have enough of an army unless it can recover itself to do anything, but I guess we'll see. Nemesis Crown sealed away. There we go. And with that, I do believe we are not out of time, we are out of turn, as in there's nothing else to do, as we saved that at the end of last episode. We'll ignore the damaged buildings here because it is greenskin, or not greenskin territory, soon to be Karak Kadrin territory. And, ooh, one territory looks like Grimgor's out of the picture in one turn as well. As expected, the Ironclaw Orcs will indeed sally out of Heldegrad, and this is going to be their last hurrah, but with plenty of solid troops, they've got at least something of a chance. They have certainly reached our missile troops in this particular army in previous battles, and they've got a chance to do it again and possibly do some damage to us. They got any pump wagons that we gotta worry about? No, doesn't look like it. It's funny that out of all the enemy types of troops that we could have, that the enemy could have, the greenskin roster could have, the pump wagons are by far the one I worry the most about, which is again kind of silly, since obviously it's snotlings and there are much more expensive troops, but that's just the case. They have a tendency to be pretty threatening. Anyway, go. Alrighty, here we go. This should be a very interesting fight. Oh, the lighting looks good, like seeing all the shadows on the huntsman and all that. But anyway, this should be a very interesting fight. You guys may remember this particular map from battles previous, as it was definitely one that does not favor missile troops or artillery, with the exception of mortars, I guess, which can fire over that hill. Last time we fought this battle here, because the hill interferes with everything, and frankly, it's going to interfere with plenty of our units in this army as well. Going to try to take position up on the hill to hopefully get most of our guns firing away, but obviously as soon as the enemy starts closing the distance a little bit, the hill is going to prove much more of an issue. The enemy is able to fire back upon us while we're atop this hill as well, as it does have, what, 3 artillery pieces to its name? Though I'd wager at least the Ragnarok is unlikely to be able to close the distance. The Huntsmen are focusing the big boy down with those anti-large arrows of theirs, and have brought it down to about 45% of their HP. And at the very least, the elevation means the enemy does have to climb a fair bit to get towards us. If the hill was all the way back here rather than in the center of the map, this would be a fantastic map. Oh, kind of like the enemy. Oh, wow. Okay, so they get this big old hill, and they could have just deployed here and clear ground where we have all of this forest and all of this forest on our side of the map and this big old hill blocking us, and this is all going downhill rather than uphill. Damn. Yeah, this particular map is really favors one side in terms of the elevation slash terrain. It's kind of interesting. But we're just going to have to overcome. I'm sure we've had the same battle where we're on that side before. Not that I remember it, but I'm sure we have. Maybe not in this campaign. Anyway, and the battle continues. The enemy continues moving towards us. Going to get that, I don't know, goo. Ablaze? I'm going to set the... wait, ablaze? Aren't you just throwing oil at them? Well, they're going to be set ablaze shortly with the actual arrow of Akshi. But otherwise, it looks like the enemy has finally begun to close the distance. The bounce power remains at about 65% in our favor, so there's still a fair bit of work to do. Unfortunately, with the sheer amount of missile resistance, we couldn't focus the giant down. We're busy trying to focus other critical targets, and the 4 units of Wolfkin are just going to have to do their best to hold back the tide. Now, Black Orcs are following in the wake of the giant to make their way uphill, and it looks like the giant will close its distance with the Huntsman. That's not a fight the Huntsman general can win, but all it can hope to do is distract the giant for long enough. Here come the Black Orcs as well, which will probably obliterate the cliffside patrols if we let them. We're going to bump up their melee defense with that stand your ground, and 74 remains pretty solid. On the bright side, over on the right flank, after destroying the enemy boar boys, we were able to essentially loop around some of our range units and start firing into the flanks of the enemy. But whereas we were completely victorious over on the right flank, the left flank is in much worse shape, as 2 boar boys are repeatedly cycle charging, as well as a unit of orc boar chariots trying to annoy us here, and a black orc big boss has made its way to the fray. The 2 units of Wolfkin are just going to have to do their best to try to hold the boar boys back, and admittedly we've seen those Wolfkin hack the boar boys apart in battles previous, so I expect that they should still be able to win the day against them here. But the center portion of our formation is in much worse shape. The Black Orcs are now starting to hack through those cliffside patrols, as the stand your ground has now run its course over the 30 seconds, but it did allow a unit that is not supposed to be fighting in melee ever to the Hawkland long rifles to hold back some Black Orcs, which is pretty neat. On the bright side, at last, the giant is pretty much done for. It is broken. Admittedly, our Huntsman General was also nearly broken, and just trying to pin it in place or hold it back while we fired upon it with all of our range. Otherwise, the bounce power has climbed to about 85% in our favor, and at last, it looks like most of the enemy are being pushed back and to try to focus down that unit of Black Orcs, which has at last forced the rout of both the Engineer, the Cliffside Patrols, and not so much the Huntsman General. And it looks like with the sheer amount of firepower now focusing the Black Orcs, they will be brought down, or at the very least, forced to break. And there we go. As soon as the Black Orcs are out, it looks like the rest of the enemy troops realize that they have no hope, because if the disciplined and the biggest Black Orcs are going to run away, the rest of the Orcs probably have no chance. There we go. The battle was ours. Rather iffy, rather dicey there for a minute, but a pretty solid fight, even if we did deploy up on the hill rather than elsewhere. It really would have been nice to get the enemy side, but I guess it depends on who's the attacker and who's the defender in this particular map. At least I would assume. Yeah, I definitely remember playing on this particular battle map from this side and attacking here, but I just don't think that's happened in this particular campaign. Not that it's important. Fun fight. Ooh, alright, there we go. Definitely a close call there as our line was overrun, especially since we couldn't take advantage of the sniping aspects or direct fire aspects of our units. That map has become the bane of my existence in this particular campaign, as it is very bad for certain types of armies to roll that particular map. Though admittedly we did deploy up on the hill rather than where we deployed last time, which was to the left corner of that map, but nonetheless, a really fun fight, and at least it allowed some of the Wolfkin to shine a little bit more rather than being outshined as they generally are by the gunnery units who were struggling with that big old hill and being in their way. Very nice. Anyway, we've got to, I think, heal up after this one because we still got to take down the enemy settlement, and who knows what the auto-resolve will bring, so we will praise Sigmar. Ooh, wait. In terms of damage, the Merryman, 26,000 damage, not too bad. I believe the Cliffside Patrols got heavily damaged. Yeah, these guys got nearly wiped out by either it was the Giant or it was the Black Orc Big Boss. Somebody attacked them, but despite that, they still managed to rack up the 31,000 damage, so very solid work out of the Cliffside Patrols. Unfortunately, it looks like Nachtjäger couldn't fire, judging by their damage dealt, so this either other troops or the hillside was interfering with their line of sight. What can you do?
Second chance.
And, oh right, I almost forgot about this. I almost didn't expect the Dragonhof Conclave to sally out, but I should have, because, I mean, troop quality-wise, if the roles were reversed, I would obviously take the Vampire Army by a huge margin. That's ignoring my bias towards vampires. Nonetheless, let's see how well they do and how well we do. Go. Alrighty, for glory indeed. Here we go. The Flagellants look pretty good in the sort of... is this a night battle? Huh. I guess maybe. It might be a night battle with the corrupted Nurglights guys, but anyway, generally speaking, in this lighting and in the desert as well. Seems appropriate. Over on the left flank, the battle will begin as the Blood Knights charge towards the Knights of the Everlasting Light, and Lance will clash with Lance. The Knights of the Everlasting Light still looking pretty good in Cursed Chapter or not, will have to do their best to hold back the Blood Knights. Fortunately, we do also have the Knights of Moor moving in to help out, and the Knights of Moor do apply that nice stern resolve thing if winning melee combat. Although I guess Dreaded removes immunity to psychology, doesn't matter against the undead unless you can remove the undead trait, which, well, we're not chaos, so we can't do. At least these guys can't. Anyway, the Knights of the Everlasting Light, of course, also apply Blinding Radius, which is a decent debuff of the enemy melee capabilities. Minus 10 melee attack drops the Blood Knights only to 33, which is pretty solid. It works for us. And of course the Knights of the Everlasting Light are here, not actually for the Blood Knights. Hopefully the Knights of Moor can take care of that, but those magical lances are going to need to work through all those Cairn rates and Hex rates. They're not the only units here, however, and the fearless units of Flagellants will rush in to join the fray against the Cairn rates, whose massive amounts of armor piercing are going to be useless here. Over in the back line, we have kept the other 2 units of Cav waiting for the enemy to drop in with their air force, as in the 2 units of Vargeists as well as the Terrorgeist, though the Terrorgeist appears to be trying to kill off our Warrior Priest. Probably a good use of it, in fact, so gotta appreciate it. The other units of Flagellants have made their way forward and are now engaged in their fight with the enemy Graveguard. They do have a pretty massive amount of melee attack, even without the Hammer of Sigmar at 81. And should be able to be getting through the enemy's melee defenses. So they will be bringing them down, but they will be taking damage, as is the tendency with any kind of sort of frenzied damage dealer, glass cannon type of units. Anyway, over on the left flank, the Cairn rates, the Hex rates, and the Blood Knights have all collapsed. Those magical lances doing good work, and it looks like we've been able to gun down most of the other enemy Knights and the Vargeists as well, with the Free Company Militia. Overall, the way on the right flank, our units of Knights of Moor have been keeping the second unit of Blood Knights busy, and have been dealing with them quite well. And Knights of Moor also do have a decent amount of gold on them, eh? So they could also potentially work in Gelt's army. And yes, I'm still thinking about the aesthetics of Gelt's army and building it by aesthetics more than anything else. Anyway, the Vargeists and the Terrorgeists alike are both done for, as they get gunned down by the new Altdorf retinue, and now it's just a matter of time of cleaning up the last of the enemy Graveguard. A few more charges from our Knights. Love seeing those Knights of the Everlasting Light do their work, and it's nice to see them be more effective units in SFO, well, considerably more effective units in SFO than they are in vanilla. Alrighty. In vanilla, it feels like there isn't much incentive to really use anything other than Reiksguard and Knights of the Black Rose. But as we've seen, pretty much all the Order Knights have a solid niche in SFO, which is really nice. I do like the Strider on the Drakewald Riders as well, because they can basically run as fast and reposition themselves as fast as a light cab, despite being as armored as regular Knights, and in SFO their stats are also considerably stronger as well, as in the various Empire Knight types. And also, Knights of Moor still look absolutely fantastic. You gotta love these guys in terms of aesthetics. Anyway, a lovely little fight, and hopefully we'll be able to cast down Manfred himself in his last settlement afterwards. Alrighty, there we go. That's why we come down here. Getting a nice fight. Blood Knights facing off against our own Knights, with the Everlasting Light Knights in particular being useful against the enemy ghostly units, but the Knights of Moor holding back the Blood Knights as well. The Flagellants going after and facing off against all those enemy Graveguard, and in particular the Tattersouls, and dishing out massive amounts of damage. The new Altdorf retinue were okay in terms of the support they provided, but were largely trying to deal with the enemy Terrorgeist and Vargeists, and better that they deal with them rather than the Flagellants. Once again, we aren't going to keep all these piles of Flagellants in this army. It's going to be swapped with some stuff, but we'll get there in a bit. I want a couple of armies of Sigmar and a couple of Sigmarite disciples here. We're going to have Flagellants in other armies, since Volkmar doesn't seem to buff them as well as other lords do. But anyway, close victory. Alright, we don't need to do anything because we can occupy the place. Lovely. Shrine of the Mighty Flame. Huh, this was a tier 5 settlement, wasn't it? Possibly another staging ground. Good. Oh, I was not expecting that. It looks like the orcs will also sally out to attack our Bretonnian army. And go figure. All right, I'm certainly intrigued. Let's see what they can do. Those Mangler Squigs are going to be a huge issue for this particular army, but hopefully the Grail Knights can dish out sufficient damage. And also, I just want to point out, we have 120 armor now on the rank 7 Grey Mountain Bad, 100 on the regular ones without rank 7, but they'll all be rank 7 soon enough, which is pretty darn solid. They're almost as heavily armored as Grail Knights are now. Pretty great. Go. All right, he's gonna be silent, damn it. Oh well. Anyway, the battle starts immediately, though it is a choke point battle, with the enemy using a Gaze of Mork upon one of our units of Grail Relics. I also want to point out, looks like we're up to 145 armor on the rank 7s, which is pretty good, and then 125 in the Grey Mountain Band. And, oh, that should actually rise even further when we cover James Schreiber overhead due to the armor buffing trait that he's got. I forgot what it was called. The Tempered something aura. Oh, that's just Tempered aura. Yeah. So that'll be another 15, so we could bump it up to 160 armor on the Grey Mountain Band. Pretty intense. You also got to remember that the reason that we chose the Reiksguard model for this particular Grandmaster is because it also gives him another aura for the Emperor. When he's in melee, gives everybody around another 10 armor and more missile resistance. Yeah, I really wanted ultra heavily armored Bretonnian peasants because the idea amuses me. Anyway, since the enemy decided to start the day with spellwork, we're going to get some spellwork of our own going. I would have been perfectly happy to just hold the choke point and, watch the enemy piles of orcs and gobos break on the Bretonnian halberds. But alas, if the enemy wants to play at Magics, well, two can play at that game, and I'd wager we can play it a fair bit better. In the meantime, unlike the Bretonnian peasants who need support, the Grail Knights really don't care. They can run and do whatever to this army, and the enemy army really can't stop them. They are a pretty darn obnoxious unit after all. But the goal here isn't to annoy and oh man, the piles of gobos just exploding on the charge is just fantastic. But anyway, the goal here wasn't to actually go after those little piles of goblins or squigs or whatever, but to catch the enemy casters. Really don't need any more of those Gazes of Mork or whatever hitting our Grey Mountain Band, especially since we're going to have to deal with those Mangler Squigs, which will do plenty of damage to us once we're, well, mostly once they're dead because of the entities explode on death thing. Yeah, I could never really get too much value out of that in my own work campaign because, I mean, using them as a unit that, as a suicide attack unit is kind of a waste, it feels. And just to rebuild them, you know, the same kind of reason that I don't like to use bloated corpses. At least with bloated corpses, you can summon your units. But anyway, the enemy lord is down to about 30% of their HP. I feel like taking a lot longer to be brought down simply because of the fact that our units are so dang fast. It's kind of a bizarre sort of situation where you're, even without all the speed buffs we have, it's very difficult to bring down a footlord when you're on a mount like that. Simply because your units spend way too much time running around. But anyway, here come those Mangler Squigs, and useful or not, I will never ever get tired of watching them. They're just so dang entertaining. Like I've said many a time in my Gorbad campaign, them and Nurglings are just too fun to watch. Anyway, we've arrived with our wizard now, so he's bumping up these units up to 140 and the others up to 160 armor with that Bastion of the Great Cities. Again, one of the issues for these guys, though, is that their HP is rather low at 12,000, being a little bit closer to a unit of range, like crossbows and stuff. Or maybe to Free Company Militia, than it is to a regular melee unit, but it's all good. We'll deal. They are just peasants after all. And I don't imagine the Bretonnians feed their peasants too well, so perhaps it does make sense that they don't have a crazy amount of HP, but anyway. Just out of curiosity, we got Night Goblins, even Night Goblins, 15,400 HP on them, so yeah, a big difference there, but anyway. The enemy blob has arrived and we are holding them off. Even the pump wagons and the squigs have so far, and the trolls have so far failed to break through the line, though they have started to dish out a decent little bit of damage. Over in the background, our Grail Knights and our units of Wardens of the West have been causing havoc, and it's time for the Grail Knights to return to the fray against the regular enemies. Still a lot of squigs riding around, or lying around, I don't know what to call that, spinning. Mangling, I should have said mangling. But it's the trolls we want to help out with. There we go, big old charge from the Grail Knights into the back of the enemy formation. The Grail Knights are completely fine so far, and up to 256 kills. And arising with every lance strike. Alright, there we go. The bounce power is at about, let's say, 70% in our favor now, and a lot of the enemy runners are getting obliterated by the Wardens of the West, though it looks like the Wardens of the West have met at least one enemy unit in direct combat. They're at 61 melee defense now, so they're a little bit stronger than they were, though again, their HP is pretty low. It's even lower than Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, which is a bit sad. But again, peasants. Just blame it on the peasants. The Bretonnians have some things right. Anyway, they should still be able to beat them as they are Goblin Wolf Rider Archers, so they're going to be out of the picture relatively soon. The enemy has failed to breach the choke point, and it looks like most of their units are melting away. The last of the enemy Mangler Squigs will explode as well, and the Halberds should be bringing down those trolls in short order. The bounce power at about 85, closing in on 90%. And it looks like a few more units need to be routed for the battle to be fully ours. And at some point I decided to give up on chasing after the enemy lords and heroes because it was just taking too much effort. Better off to knock out the trolls with the alpha strike of the heroes. Especially since they can actually sit there and attack them rather than ride around in circles like an idiot around the enemy lords and stuff. Alright, probably one more charge from the Grail Knights. Looks like those trolls are running away, but I don't think they're going to outrun those lances. And there we go, one will fall, two will fall, several others will fall and maybe get up again, but for how long? And there we go, with that I do believe the enemy army is done. Everybody shatters, battle is ours. Lovely. Looks like this army has certainly gotten stronger. We can still, however, see a lot of damage on a bunch of those units, although I'd wager once again, just like previous battles, it's more spinning loons than anything. Well, no, not just spinning loons, the Mangler Squigs explosions and all that. Yeah. Basically, any kind of real damage we can attribute to gobs instead of works. Alright, there we go. Heroic victory for obvious reasons. The obvious reasons being that the Grey Mountain Band and the Wardens of the West are theoretically very weak, but they held the enemy off nicely, with one of them getting 17, nearly 18,000 kills. Or 18,000 kills. Probably only possible against, what, 4 Skaven stacks? 17, 18,000 damage. 71,000, however, on the Grail Knights, but that should hardly be of any surprise, and that's why we only have one of those units in this particular army. Plus, makes sense. Feels appropriate in this army. And the few that die can become Grail relics to push the men-at-arms onward. Anyway, we've got also 75,000 damage on the Gold Wizard, but I mean it's basically in keeping with the unit of Grail Knights, so it feels fairly appropriate. Lovely. Alrighty, there we go. No further fights, but that was a pretty fighty end turn as well, and it's looking like it's going to be a pretty battle-heavy episode as well. Guelkazar has been destroyed. The outpost, oh, it was taken by the Skaven. Man, the lizards, they're on the verge of being wiped out here. I don't know if we can get to them in time. Not that we'll probably have any chance to rack up enough allegiance for us to care that much about them, I admit, and we do want Magritta, but it would be unfortunate. I do see a lot of Dark Elves hanging around here as well. Anyway, enemy killed in battle, Deepwood Branch. This is probably not something we will use. Maybe. I mean, I don't dislike the idea of the missile resistance on a steam tank, but I feel like there are better options. Obsidian Amulet, Luckstone, Talisman of Preservations. Wow, we're getting a bunch of talismans, which is good because we needed a bunch of them. Hampshire discovered, ally mission aborted, ally begins outpost construction all over the place. The Mad Howler's destroyed, Wintertooth destroyed. You don't need a potion of foolhardiness because we can turn it into a better item. And Scribe, you can hold on to that. Imperial Pegasus for some guy. Master Mason, Creator, etc. Improved piston technology, giving more unit mass to steam tanks, luminarchs, and land ships, as well as speed. I imagine this doesn't apply to lords and only the units, which is a bit of a shame, as I'd love to have the additional speed and mass, but oh well, not a big deal, I hope. Anyway, as someone decided between these, I'm like 90% sure I'm just going to pick Doom of Nagash, but it doesn't really matter at this time. What we do want to do is pick our next tech here. Diplomatic relations with Bretonnia don't matter all that much. I don't dislike the idea of the Winds of Power magic reserve capacity increase. We no longer need money as much as we used to. So this line isn't as important. We could just go straight for rifled barrels for that lovely 10% range increase, or ignore it all. And, oh wait. The Empire Captain's one is Imperial University. I wanted to see whether we could increase their capacity because we're out of Empire Captain capacity. We could also go through all of this, spend the, 8 turns to go all the way to Manorialism. It would give us the Imperial Tactics ability, but I feel like 8 turns might be a little bit of an investment when we could get the 10% increase in range and accuracy for all missile troops right now, or in 3 turns, but pretty quick comparatively. I also don't dislike the idea of the immunity to psychology for cavalry. Oh, right, and there's the additional missile explosion radius and range for artillery as well. There's some good stuff there. This one we need a lot less. It's a lot more niche, because of the buffs for the tanks and landships, sure, great, but they're already ludicrously powerful. Buffs for the Luminarchs, incredibly niche, and then this is what? Well, I don't dislike the local recruitment duration -2 for them, though. But anyway, we'll do the rifled barrels for now. Anyway, Karl, we're going to start with you once again from the top. So, I don't see... Well, Throg was destroyed, and looks like you just can't reach Scarbrand. He hasn't moved back here, so let's do this. We're going to move in camp stance. Let's see if he's still here at the Tower of Crack. And he is indeed. Alrighty. Now, I also wonder, if we declare war on him immediately, will he run? I guess we'll find out. Let's declare war on him. And Clan Mange, I don't know where you are. This isn't rats here, is it? You know, we'll just ask, let's say, the Urson. Now let's ask the Ice Court to join this. Or, whoa, actually, no, we don't want to take their money. They're having a bad time. They're strength rank 101. They've lost all of their armies and, by the looks of it, a fair amount of their settlements. Compared to the Great Orthodoxy and the Urson Revivalists. Well, let's ask you to join. 2,000 gold? Frankly, we don't even need that gold, most likely. Although, admittedly, materials at sea will end in a couple of turns, so we'll see. Anyway, now at war with Scarby. Let's hope he stays there. This is a demonic garrison. Oh. But this can't be a walled settlement, so we'd get a nice battle either way. Alright, well, let's prepare for that. Ooh, what do we have here? Where are you going? Huh, are they going to try to attack Dassault? Well, they might. 1,000 Maws have 7 settlements remaining. Okay, so interesting use of their time. I guess Waldemar, you're going to move up there and wipe them out then. Alright, move past Castelangui, in which we will still be trading to Bretonians in a bit. We still got to trade to Sigmarsheim. So we're going to hold off on doing anything there for now. Anyway, let's get back to doing stuff in order rather than not. Actually, you know what? It's the first thing that we want to do, if I can find it, is you, builder. Go, wait, is there anything to build here? Yes, go for the menagerie. And Altar of Ulrich, I forget, do you need to be upgraded to tier 5 or are you maxed out at tier 4? No, you need to be maxed out at tier 5. Alright, we'll wait on that. You will be in 2 turns. We have 2 turns remaining of this, so we won't need you here. You can move to Fort Solace and upgrade this to the city-state. And then you can move all the way down here to Marienburg, wherein we will upgrade stuff. I think I wanted to move to Glimdwaro and upgrade all of this stuff because it's expensive as well. And, oh, you won't be able to make it to tier 5, will you? Open the gates. Actually, you will. We have 1 turn remaining. Huh. So if you can make it there in 1 turn, we can still make use of this. Or in the alternative, do the Black Pit, but this is a yellow territory, thus it would be harder to upgrade, so maybe that's the better option. Unless there's other stuff down here. Other important stuff, that is. There's a few things, but we got most of the tier 5s here, which was the real important stuff. Yeah. Oh, wait. Unless there's a place where we want to get up to tier 5 here, for example, would you be able to reach this in 1 turn? Actually, I think you would be. And this is also a yellow territory, and probably a more important one than that other one. Alright, and I think we'll open the gates here and then do that one. Alright, well that's decided. In the meantime, you're gonna upgrade the Marienburg. Oh, I should have put you back to Council of Burgomeisters. Well, okay, well, whatever, too late. We're not gonna wait. It's not a huge deal. And then what else can we get here? I guess, you know what, let's go for a common temple here. This is a money-making province. It's Marienburg. They will, well, if they're not worshipping Manan, they will probably be worshipping the almighty gold coin. Anyway, you're gonna go this way then. Alright, and then I guess we will still need to upgrade what? The foundry? We'll upgrade it as we go. Anyway, that was the builder. We'll do more buildings as we go, but for now we got other things to do. You, sir. We'll hit the Silver Pinnacle, but do we want to maybe wipe these guys out, or do we want to turn back? How many territories do you have still? 3, so it's just these 3. We haven't seen the undead. And I'm willing to bet that we won't be able to do this one with an auto-resolve, because the game never lets us. It will not. Alright, well, we'll either do that manually or I'll do it between the episodes, depending on how that goes. Gavin von Wolfen, we'll skip the governor and go straight to you. You cannot reach Howling Rock by the looks of it. Oh, actually, you can. Can you reach Howling Rock? Not even close. There's a big ol' Wa here, and you're not much of an army, but it might be enough to wipe out this Wa, which would be a good thing. Just not having to deal with it. I think we should probably do that. We'll probably suffer a fair bit of damage here, but it should still be okay. So I think we will fight this. We will then want to maybe get you some red line. Let's get you Emperor's Finest, just to buff up all those halberdiers, and then, yeah, probably Pistol Corps. Well, let's do this. This and Pistol Corps. Like that. Alrighty, that's a fairly significant buff, I'd wager. Now, you are currently at war with Karak, which is also unsurprising. We will join your war. They went from, what, 1 settlement? I think they were down to only Barak Var at one point, so we've given them a lot of stuff back, which is pretty nice of us. Alright, there we go. Somebody got to reclaim those realms after all, or maybe I just got addicted to reclaiming realms after the Thorgrim campaign, and we'll just straight up join your campaign against the Bloody Spears. Alrighty, and I guess we'll use this army, which wasn't supposed to be a real army, but, you know, these little fights are always fun because the army is weak. I'm not going to bother with itemization, and these guys are in march stance, so we are definitely going to take advantage of it. That's a lot of gobs, and the pump wagons are certainly going to be an annoyance, but hopefully we can deal. Go.
Sigmar!
Oh man, we're really getting screwed over by some bad terrain today, aren't we? Again, we start downhill from the enemy, which again will cause a fair bit of issues with our direct fire units. Not much we can do about that, unfortunately. Just going to have to overcome it, even with this army that isn't a real army. Just dregs and auto-resolve units, but heck. On the bright side, they may be dregs, but they've been around for a while, and these units are all a very high veterancy at this point, and we have 3 units of Pistoliers, and I do love these guys, just like the free companies, and we're going to put them to great use here. Going to start with those pump wagons, which are going to be an absolute major threat here, and unfortunately for the pump wagons, fast though they are, there's no way that they can catch those Pistoliers, which are doing 86 missile strength, pretty darn solid with all the buffs they have now. Certainly have become pretty darn dangerous units. And I guess if you're on a single pump wagon taking like, I don't know, taking like 100 bullets to the face from a bunch of pistols, it makes sense that it does a fair bit of damage. Anyway, those 2 units of pump wagons are pretty much done. Gonna get a few more volleys off and then get ready to annoy the 3rd one, which is now heading towards us rather than our line. Actually, probably a good move from the AI there, because if it had moved towards our main line, I was looking to snipe them with the war wagons instead. But that's fine. Alrighty, and here comes that 3rd unit of pump wagons. We can also use our Pistoliers to charge some of those goblin archers. We probably can't use them to kill orc archers or error boys in melee, but any gob archers are fair game because they are quite a bit more fragile and quite a bit less capable in melee. Otherwise, we get that standard sort of checker formation where we got gaps in our lines for the handgunners and the free companies to fire through, while the halberds hold off the rest. Alrighty, the enemy reinforcements have arrived as well, and it's a big old pile of gobs by the looks of it, so we have limited time. I'm going to try to use that to charge right into that unit of goblin archers, and that pincer effectively obliterated the unit. Time to get the heck out of there before the giant pile of reinforcements arrives. Our Arch-Lector is busily attacking the goblin big boss, while our 2 units of war wagons are attempting to snipe that boar-riding enemy lord. And the battle continues. Though it looks like the Goblin Big Boss is out of there, and it also looks like the Halberdiers are holding back the enemy tide nicely. The enemy is not making its way through the gaps, but leaving the gaps full of enemies for our units of free companies to fire right through. So the formation is working quite nicely here, and our flanks are protected due to the presence of several mountains on this particular map, even if the kill is preventing too much work from the handgunners here. 0 kills, 0 damage, they just basically can't fire. Once this area is safe, I could at least move them into this position and then have them fire into the enemy's flanks. This one unit, at least, has a tiny bit of elevation that we're working with. We parked them up here. Unfortunately, couldn't go any higher. Would have been lovely to just get them all up here, or I would have put both of the handgunners up there. And maybe the huntsman as well. But all good. Anyway, the enemy lord dies at last, gunned down by the war wagons. Over in the background, we have charged into yet another unit of goblin archers, and wouldn't you know it, there are 4 more units of goblin archers out here, unprotected now, as the regular units of gobs have left them, and the pistoliers will charge, firing all the while. There we go. And while the Pistoliers may be still pretty terrible in melee, they're not so terrible that they can't deal with super fragile Goblin Archers. There we go, and those 4 units are pretty much out of the picture. Still plenty more regular Gobs moving in, but I don't think they have the critical mass necessary to break through the lines of halberds now. Arrows from the Huntsmen and bullets from the handgunners continue to break through the enemy ranks. And it looks like the battle is very nearly ours. Bounce power is at about 85% in our favor, just a little bit more work. I love seeing the sort of disciplined units and ranks and formations against the ill-disciplined horde of greenskins. Feels very appropriate here, doesn't it? Lorefully accurate sort of battle. And hey, we don't have a lot of crazy artillery or magics going here, so these can always be nice to see for some variety. And with that, the enemy gets off one last wah, but it was one wah too late, as the enemy will break just as they wah. Oh well. And our units of Pistoliers had just finished up with those enemy units of Goblin Archers. There we go. The enemy army shatters. The battle is ours. A lovely little fight. Oh, good lord, I love Empire Light Cav. Those Pistoliers were such bloody menaces in terms of annoying that enemy army. The terrain might have screwed us over once again, but it certainly didn't stop the Pistoliers. 30,000 to 40,000 damage, depending on the unit, and 150 to 220 kills. Very, very solid. And obviously we also got decent damage out of various halberdiers, especially those in the center that held off the main enemy line, but yeah, the Pistoliers were absolutely the stars, even out damaging the war wagons, which typically do quite a lot of work. A lovely fight. We are going to, I guess, heal up, because we have to move southward and deal with the second army, since we just declared war on these guys. I hope that we can, well, we can't reach the second army itself. Just out of range. Too bad you didn't have any movement range buffs. I already had Root Marcher, darn. Oh well, start going through rally, and I'm gonna say we have more units that benefit from pistol core / sharpshooter, so we'll start with that. Gotta reward those guys after all. Lose the pigeon plucker pendant, we'll turn it into something better. And I guess we head up here. I assume that giving you a messenger or a scribe or whatever other ancillary helps you with this will not do anything. Let's try it, but I assume that it won't do anything. Not Outrider. Okay, do we have a free scribe? We do not have a free scribe. Okay, I don't know. Gotrek has one. Who else? Well, I guess heroes, I assume, don't get any advantage out of it. Tech Thief. I'll take the scribe from you. I assume we don't have any free messengers. We do not. Any heroes have any messengers? Yeah, okay, well, I'm not going to bother taking them away. I'm still pretty sure that they don't work immediately anyway. So, we're going to pop you into ambush stance, put you right outside of Dead Rock Gap, and we'll see if these guys attempt to attack it. And hopefully you can ambush them. Alrighty, just sort of the leftover troops from one of our other armies, but it's working well enough for our purposes right now. Gavin, I'd like you to then move to Howling Rock, since Mr. Theon Kalb was not able to do so, and is still obviously waiting for Marius Leitdorf. We have solid defenses here, so besiege it and let's hope that they sally out. Not even so much because of the defenses, but because it won't allow us for a cinematic fight, unfortunately, due to the presence of that defensive structure. Anyway, you, Mr. Jurgen, you're going to, I guess, proceed to Nalfari Plain. Just keep conquering stuff up here until you can find Village's main stack again. Although, yeah, we have way too much territory and not enough armies here, though admittedly, I guess it doesn't really matter over much in the sense that we don't really care about these territories. They're all to be traded probably to Boris. We could also just give the mountains to the dwarfs here, but I don't know, I'll think about it. If we give this to Boris, then the likelihood of the Wood Elves coming into contact with these dwarfs is unlikely, so we could just ignore that and just give the dwarfs these mountains instead, which would maybe make more sense. Although on the other hand, close proximity to Kislev, I don't know, what was it? It doesn't matter. Painting the map is a whole separate game. Anyway, Theodric von Blutten, you're going to knock out Mr. Lupio here, who's going to be, not ambushed, quick saved and then auto-resolved. Let's hope we don't lose those war wagons. Which we do not. Lovely. And they didn't get hurt whereas everybody else did. But why? Okay, well, you're going to go here and then... Is that the last of the... Okay, that was... We destroyed the Iron Claw Works, or we will have destroyed the Iron Claw Works in a second. We have now destroyed the Iron Claw Works. Occupy... Oh, Karazakarag, you've come down here now that... you useless. Anyway, now that we've done everything. Keep the coaching in. I think we can lose the Gunnery School. Definitely build the paved roads, and then we'll see what other stuff we need to build here. Probably keep hold of the Shrine and the Foundry. Maybe we'll upgrade them, maybe we won't, we'll see. A long shots cap, Toll Keeper, Iron Claw Works destroyed, and Theodric. I guess we're gonna have you start on Lycoros, so go here. I did once again want to reset you, but then resetting you will also come with some additional units. Frankly, while I do absolutely adore Free Company, I did want to put the Sigmar's Sons in here, so maybe we should do that. Whatever they're called. It is Sigmar's Sons. And to match with the rest of the swordsmen, you know? And I think we'll do that. Always a shame to lose a high rank. Yeah, whatever.
Yes?
Why did I delete both? Oh, we need an Empire Captain in here as well as maybe a Warrior Priest? Oh, we can't build Empire Captains here.
What does the Emperor bid?
No, oh well, you're just gonna have to hold off without one extra unit. The Sigmar Sons are pretty darn solid. And they have stats on par with most likely one of the...
This will bolster the nation.
We won't suffer attrition here. Huh, wait, does this make us immune to attrition? It does not. There's just not enough Empiric attrition here. Well, isn't that lovely? What was I saying?
A sound plan.
They're on par with Imperial Foot, essentially, in terms of their stats, and they're unbreakable to boot, so they're pretty darn solid. Anyway, and we'll deal with them later. Let's get back to doing things in order. Elspeth, you're next. Now, you have taken the high place. If we assume that we push you down here, we should probably still grab Moonbat's fort, shouldn't we? Also, you need to get the heck out of here. And hopefully not pick up that plague. We need to deliver those cannons to another army. Elspeth. This is all... well, yeah, we can't leave a Skaven territory up here, so I guess we're gonna go this way. Elspeth, go up here. I doubt that they'll ambush you, but even if they do, they don't really have a chance against you, so good luck to them. Emil von Corden, so you knocked out all those vamps last time. Are you besieging Kappelburg? I'm not sure that we actually care about it. Is there any territory here that we care about, in fact? Viadatsa is part of this territory. I guess the question would be whether we want any territories from these guys. This is a different faction. This is Remas. Oh, they might actually be moving past it in order to go to Elemento rather than attempt to take Kappelburg. Alright, well, we'll probably still have to deal with that, but let's take Viadatsa for now. I wonder if these guys can reach the place. They can by moving through Rivola. Probably not a big deal either way. I ought to resolve this for obvious reasons, and again, our poor single entities are getting absolutely obliterated by the auto-resolves in this army. Which is kind of shocking considering they're pretty buffed, but what can you do? Let us build up the salt, and ooh, that might actually give us the ability to get a new trade agreement going. Yes, it will. Alright, trade agreements are open again. The Slaaneshi really want to trade. These are Slaaneshi that... oh, wow, they actually don't even dislike us that much. Actually, surprising that the aversion is only -50, but anyway. Bloodmaw... actually, should demons even have any aversion to us at all? Wouldn't they want to try to be friends with us in order to corrupt us? At least some of the demonic factions, especially the Slaaneshi demonic factions, I wager. But anyway, or Slaaneshi factions in general. Disciples of the Maw, we're obviously not trading with Pavona. We could, but it's a fairly high reward trade, and I think maybe we want to save that in case we want to trade territories with them. And no defensive alliances, surprisingly. Alright, I wanted to get a little bit more of the allegiance from a few other factions, but all good. Alrighty. Now, do we want to trade Rivola to these guys? It'll reduce our trade capacity, but it's not like we're really looking to hold on to this area. Skavenblight owns the entirety of the Blighted Marshes, so I guess, yeah, fine. Miragliano can own this entire place. We are trading with them. Let them live. We don't need all the territory. They're still not super fond of the... or Carcassonne is still not super fond of them. Why, though? Treaties with Barrow Legion and Ramateb Dynasty. Oh, I know what we can do. We will give you Rivola. And then you will break your non-aggression pact with the Barrow Legion and Ramateb Dynasty. And then you will break your trade agreement with the Barrow Legion and Ramateb Dynasty. Nope, you will break your trade agreement with one of them. Fine. And we'll do a non-aggression pact. Like so. Alrighty, now the unfortunate aspect of this is it will likely mean that the other Southern Realms factions will probably attempt to dislike these guys because of the breaking of the agreements, because they like the undead. That's not a big deal, -17. If the player had done that, I guarantee it would have been like -50 or -100 or something silly like that. Like, look at this. -243 from the Wood Elves. just because we're friendly effectively with the dwarfs and stuff and have given them some gifts and stuff, but like this is a ludicrous amount. Like they hate us 10 times as much as most of the chaos, well maybe not 10, but like well actually 10 times more than the Slaneshi demonic factions do. So it's a little bit weird. I feel like the system also needs a little bit of work. They obviously wood elves wouldn't attack the Empire randomly or go into Imperial territory to kill a bunch of Empire for being friends with the dwarfs. It makes no sense because they're well aware that the Empire is friends with the dwarfs, and they should be well aware of the fact that, again, the dwarfs have done a lot more for them than the wood elves or just generally elves have. But anyway, you were waiting on something. Oh, we need another Wissenberg's welcomers. Let's get you that. And then, presumably, you're going to need a mage as well as... I mean, it would be nice to have some Empire captains in here, but at least a mage. Either way, that doesn't change the fact that you gotta move this way, and I guess Kurt Holdorf does as well, though he is looking to get this Empire captain in his army, so I'm willing to just move you here and let the Empire captain join this army. Just so that we can... Oh, and you also need a mage as well. Wait, we'd have to remove something to put a mage in your army, wouldn't we? Well, nonetheless, we need multiple Empire captains in this army due to the halberdiers and the fact that they're rather weak. I guess since the Empire captains can summon gunnery troops, we could in theory remove one handgun. Or one of the artillery pieces, it doesn't really matter ultimately. You, Theodoric Bruch, with the Clockwork Spyglass trait. Now, we could pop you into this army as well, as there is a decent amount of range units, but it isn't the biggest of deals. I imagine that this army here will also need a range unit. Yeah, alright, you can go into this army. The Fledgling Fire Army, or one of the possibly Fledgling Fire Armies, as several of our armies are liable to do damage of that variety. But anyway, let's keep going. Now, you know what? Let's actually start with the Tech Thieves. I guess it's not starting with them anymore, but we gotta do the Tech Thieves before moving, because... several Tech Thieves are in places like this one that would be conquered otherwise. And I don't want to forego that. Anyway, Rickard von Dragon, you are... oh, you're a Myrmidia guy. Okay, I'll deal with you in a bit. There is a bunch of stuff to do down there, so I don't want to deal with it. You're supposed to join Elspeth, aren't you? No, you're supposed to join Marius Leitdorf, so go up here. And Thomas Kalb, I guess since you're going after Howling Rock, you can start moving up here towards the Iron... Bark or whatever these guys are, so go here, actually channel here. You can attack Drakenmoor, which yes, we did trade to them, I admit. But at the time it was really worth it, plus it forced them into a war. And Jamathias Albrecht, you're gonna go in here, and I believe you have the prepared trait, outfitted trait, close enough. Armor and reload reduction, I have an idea with you guys. We're just gonna keep summoning outfitted varieties. I want to get like... I don't know, 4 to 6 of these guys. And get some pistols and crossbows together with the Stir River Patrol, especially since these guys summon a crossbows type unit in their Witch Hunter retinue. And we'll see what else in there as well, especially from our allies. But anyway, Vasily Orr and the other guy. You guys are supposed to catch up to Mr. Volkmar, and... I mean, I would like you to grab the XP. We've got a long way to travel to delete the Drakenhof Conclave for good. And we are waiting for the other Crusader armies before we start up on these guys. You don't have any space, though, unfortunately. Oh, man. Alright, we can pop one of these guys in here, then. The levels are rank 9 and rank 23. I'm gonna go with rank 9 because you need the XP more, and then you can follow. Alright, there we go. I just, because I want to transfer the high-rank Flagellants to another army. You could pop into the Shrine of the Mighty Flame, it's just that... okay, first of all, don't collect the income. Oh, second of all, let's get the basic walls up and running. We got a wizard building here. Oh, that is fantastic. We don't have a wizard building here. Oh, that's amazing. That was very lucky, very serendipitous. We will definitely put that one to good use. And then here, we will want to get the training ground, I guess. More stuff for the staging ground, effectively. Anyway, the fact that we got a wizard building here is really, really nice. And hey, we got some of the capacities for the Empire captains back. Now, if only I could remember where there were several armies that needed them. Champions are pretty generalist useful. This army will definitely need a couple. The problem here is the fact that they probably want drill sergeants, as we have a pile of shock cav that make up this army, and shock cav doesn't generally like to stay in melee that much. What are you? We have an Empire Captain with Myrmidia's Blessing. Alright, so you're gonna go into the Myrmidia army once we have space for you. Okay, well, we'll deal with that champion in a bit, assuming that I don't forget, which is again a distinct possibility. Back to this, we probably want to get the public order. And you could probably delete the landed estate as well. But keep the barracks as well. Volkmar, I don't think we're going to bother with any of those guys for you. Oh, actually, what we could do... Are you able to move at all? Like any further? No. Alright, that's fine. We can summon a Temp Lord here, a Huntsman, Fletcher... Yeah, sure, let's go with Fletcher. Pop in here, and we'll give him one of the flagellants, and then we can put the second Witch Hunter in that army. There we go, that's nice. Alright, that works out. I don't know why I didn't think to immediately do that before. Anyway, we were moving the heroes before I promptly got distracted. Leopold van Horstman, you are supposed to join the troop train army. And looks like this guy, yeah, see? We traded all of this territory to these guys, and then this guy backed off instead of running down that way. Kind of funny. You're a tech thief. You can go up here. Steel tech. Wait, how did we even get a tech thief here? Huh? Oh, right. He came from down here. I got confused by the fact that we transferred all those settlements. Anyway, let's kill this real quick. Obviously with an auto-resolve, assuming that the game doesn't screw the troop train over. You're gonna run. Why'd you bother approaching if you were gonna run anyway? As long as he doesn't run around the mountains. It's absolutely infuriating when the game does that. Hey, are you gonna... There you go. Alright, and we're quick saving this because once again we have war wagons here. And then we'll all resolve like so. We test our metal against them. They're fine. Alrighty, we will take the money, I guess. And we're traveling back up north for this guy. Okay, you got a spell shield, that's going to our wizards. Need that extra spell resistance on them, steam tank, and chaos breaker. Good. Go into regular stance, head into Ulrich's throat. Slanashi giggle, and you can, I guess, actually heal up. There you go. You two sit there. Sit there and wait. Recruiter Albrecht, you can be waiting for now. Gustav Schneider, you're waiting here for the inevitable time that we declare war upon the... looks like Wurzag did decide to move back to Nakara. Good. Declare war on the Nerglites there. And Balthazar Gelt, I had originally wanted to go with somebody's idea of going with Silvern Guard and a mixture of Celestial Dragon Guard from the Cathians, but none of the Cathians have access to the Celestial Dragon Guard, and by the looks of it, even getting to them, each one would cost like 96 allegiance, and I feel like it's not worth it, considering. It's a lot of allegiance, basically, whereas there's a lot of stuff like war drums from Cathian armies that we could, have a lot better use out of, get a lot better use out of. Anyway, Host Festag for you, and you can, actually. These are from the Continental Exarchate. Can we build another one? No, not yet. Ooh, let's check missions, though, just in case. Yes, alright, so Urson Revivalists. We got a mission to kill off Skulk. We got 100 allegiance. Yeah, but we can't build anything there. We got a mission to kill Wurzag from you. I think we got one more turn until the Urson Revivalists get the outpost completed. I'm almost tempted to tell Dolph to sit there for the turn rather than completing it, just so we can immediately complete the mission, because at tier 2 we should at least be able to build some of the stuff, some of the military stuff with the Urson Revivalists, right? They don't just have basic troops, I assume. Yeah, they can at least build armored Kossars and war sleds and frostworms from somewhere. So we should make use of those, especially since we wanted some more of the armored Kossars in this army. Okay, we'll get to this army in a bit. Ooh, minus the Tech Thieves, which I immediately got distracted from moving. So, Tech Thief. And then you cannot reach Bolahat, unfortunately, but start moving towards it. You can go for Bolahat. Alrighty, and then Marcus, I wanted you to go to Karn Malog and then to Sherweald Forest. Feels appropriate for Marcus in particular. And then Mudflats we will upgrade until we can get a military or defensive alliance with the elves there. Alright, now that we have arrived in the Albion Bowl, it looks like the enemies have quickly gone to the back foot. Let's also upgrade this. Recruiter Olden, grab Bola Hat.
Follow your orders.
We should probably replace it with an actual army. No, I mean, you've fought once, so it's not that big of a deal. And I would like to see whether we now have access to... Okay, first of all, go to Council of Burgomeisters. Second of all, build the Hamlet. Third of all, I would like to see if we have any more access to additional... Yes, we do. Alright, Armored Cossars. What do we want to replace here? I mean, it's going to be a pistol army, so basically anything really. The pikemen, probably the ideal replacement. Armored Cossars out. It's not like we can build anything else useful in this particular army. Yeah. I might pop a few Stubborn Bulls in this army just to make it an Ostland army. Although the other Stubborn Bulls that we have are very far away. Too bad we don't have Elspeth's teleporting mechanic with us. But anyway, Arch Recruiter Hartmann, hold on to those. Aldebrand Ludenhoff, you're in the same situation. Stefan von Kessel, I do believe you were going to head for tech... Oh, did I get distracted again? Did I move all the tech thieves and heroes around? I did not. Okay, that's like the third time, guys. My bad. Alright, Valea's Sorrow, and then there should be one down here, Pillar of Bones, and then we should have one more. And then some of the Fire Wizards as well, right? So use Steel Tech, let's move those Fire Wizards around. This time... Oh, actually, we do have more tech thieves. Well, one more at least. You. Wolfgang, you were going to go into Helmut Feuerbach's army. Aldebrand Pfeiffer, you were going to reach Mr. Troop Train, so keep going up here. Wait, then who are you? Oh, you're also going to Troop Train. Everybody wants to take the Troop Train. It's not a euphemism. Or is it? Steel Tech, and we're good. Now we're done with the heroes. Yes, sort of. Semi-yes. For the reason that I would like to see whether we have any interesting wizards to summon. Battle wizards. Alright, so Amber wizards, we got an apt one. Huh, could be making another tech thief. We certainly do have space for them. Yeah, we have a Cryomancer. Wait, I think I summoned another Cryomancer recently, and I wanted to double up. Wait, that was in the Fire Army, wasn't it? You are a Cryomancer. Yes?
Is it time?
Yes. Alright, so we're going to double up in this particular army. So you, Battle Wizard, Fire, Cryomancer. And we're going to go for the... Book of Assure. I've just been transforming all of the other arcane items into Books of Assure, so now we just have an infinite amount of Books of Assure. Alrighty, and then you have a Barded Warhorse. Did you have a Bard? No, you have a Pegasus. Okay, game. Why you do this? Imperial Pegasus, thank you. And also, let's just quickly move through. I'm going to say further study untapped potential just to get improved scrying techniques and machinations of the college. I might as well get that as well, and we'll deal with your actual lore afterwards. Alrighty, now we can get back. Wait. Amber Wizards, or not Amber Wizards, Gold Wizards. Alright. Assuasive and Apt. Well, the Apt would be nice for another tech thief. I wanted to get a couple of these guys for Gelt's army, because he deserves some apprentices. Just like the Spirited one either. Oh, the Sorcerer one isn't bad either. Alright, Apt. Anywhere that would be close for the tech thieves. I mean, we could get another one here, but I fear... How many turns, I wonder, would it take to get you over there? Well, actually, we can summon one on Bola Hat, which actually saves us some time. Yeah, you know what, fine. Do another tech thief here. I mean, we still have a lot of tech to work through, admittedly. And I like it when the tech thieves are essentially all in one place, because then they're really quick to actually move around, you know? So we'll do you. Apt. I do wish they didn't cost 5,000 gold to recruit each, but... Technology's pretty worth it, you gotta admit. Specialist, Assault Unit, Wound, Power Sap, Onslaught, Quell, Potent, Studious Pupil, Untapped Potential, Lord's Counselor, Improved Scrying Techniques, and then the Machinations of the College, Calming, and I believe that's it. Yes? All the things that can actually affect armies that are around you? I believe that is indeed it. Alright, well then you can just get whatever, it doesn't really matter. Alright, good. And you should also be renamed Tech Thief so I don't get confused. Something I usually do between the episodes, but I wanted to do it right now. Anyway, I wonder if we have any more apt Tech Thieves. Or apt heroes. No, okay, so those are the ones that have a 100% chance to succeed, which is why. Anyway, let's get back to moving everybody. Gustel Schneider, what are you doing? Oh, right, okay, that's like the second time I clicked you. Arch Recruiter, Aldebrand, we can ignore you. Stefan von Kessel, yes, that's where I got stuck. Trenches Stance, please, and Vigslatra Valley. And Pyrrhic Victory? The heck are you talking about? What? Really, it doesn't like this army either? What the heck, auto-resolve? You're kind of starting to annoy me. Let's hope that the auto-resolve doesn't kill the Luminarchs like it does in War Wagons. Find out. No, it's gonna kill everything else, though. Except one unit of Knights of the Everlasting. Why? Why is this unit fine while all the other ones are damaged? Why in this army our heroes are fine, but in the other army they're getting obliterated? Silly auto-resolve. Anyway, let's see. You have right new physician to still grab, so let's do that. Hopefully that'll help you heal a little bit before the next auto-resolve. You're also very much in need of another Sigmarite Disciple, but at 4 turns, kind of a waste. Huh. What we could maybe do is get to you. 4,000 gold, but recruit it here and just transfer it. And then we could also even possibly use... Now, we can't use conscription, but at least we can... alright. Better than waiting. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, Stefan von Kessel, that was you. Is Boris next? He should be close to... Yeah, there he is. Now, you're not able to reach this place, I assume?
Yes.
You are not. I wonder if it would be better to go via the sea, grab this fell cargo in Mysterious Island. Still land next turn. Maybe. Oh, but can we risk that this isn't a broken settlement? And that would waste several turns. I'm gonna say no. Don't risk it. We can always land here and then grab these. And oh wow, this one's all the way out here. We are drawing close to the Dark Elves, interestingly. I would like Boris to fight some Dark Elves. Should be an interesting matchup for him. Although their armor piercing would be largely wasted against his army. Not against every unit, mind, but several units. This is presumably Scryer, so you're going to keep pushing on towards Vizaya. I don't see Deathmaster Snitch and no oh, there's Fabric here. No ambush set up. You can auto-resolve this. I forgot about the war wagons. And everybody got hurt, but it is what it is. If you get attacked by 3 armies next turn, well, that's your problem. Alright, and you have a potion of toughness. That is generally not for you guys. You'll be fine on the tank, I think. Though obviously we'll see. Should have gone after Fabrigere, but it's not like we really care about these territories either. Don't bother collecting the income. We are going to give these up to probably Carcassonne. Possibly Southern Realmers. Somebody. We have enough territory. Land Admiral Tinkla, yes, alright, so you... I guess are going to proceed to Kazad Elgazand. Ooh, wait. Karakharn, one more turn. Alright, fine. You are going to proceed to this place. You guys are currently at war with a bunch of Wood Elves, and you're allied with Clan Spittle, who we actually don't want to declare war on right now, because they would potentially attack us. Ask anybody? I don't know. Huh. Bugman's Brewery. Out of curiosity.
Let's hear what you have to say.
Join war against Clan Fester and Clan Spittle. And then trade Wusterberg for... what was it again? Karakharn. Huh? Wait, no. I did that wrong. Karakharn for Kurzhafen. And then... we could do it if we paid them 24,000 gold, eh? Yeah, but we'll be able to do it next turn, or the turn after next turn anyway, so I think it's not a big deal. I think we'll just ask them to join the war. Oh, you know what? That'll piss off the Wood Elves more. Let's ask one of the Wood Elves to do this, then. You.
Your coming is ill-stuck.
Okay, they're not at war with them. Okay, I'm not clicking every single Wood Elf faction, looking for whichever one's at war with them. Just join the war against Clan Fester. Yes, Fester. Bounce offer and give us your money. Alright, good. And... let's see if they move away or whether they'll be drawn out into the field. Wait, do we have you guys leveled up? Or at least one of you? Yes, okay, one of you is leveled. That's all we need. The other one can be leveled once he reaches sufficient points. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see if there's a million guys here. Are you gonna run? Nah, he's gonna run. Damn. I was hoping for a full stack and a strong garrison, but it looks like it's not the case. I'll just go here, I guess. Pyrrhic Victory? Huh, I wonder if this is a minor settlement. It is not. It's a field battle. All right, well, it should still be worthy of our time just by the sheer amount of enemies. Plus, we got to get this army. It's a debut battle, right? Go land, Admiral. Alrighty, well, we do have the finest instruments of war indeed. 3 steam tanks led by the Deliverance legendary unit, as well as the 3 land ships led by the Wonder of the Age, and of course we will get eventually a 4th steam tank when Land Admiral Zintla gets the requisite level. I don't remember what level it has to be, but anyway, the battle begins. The monstrous impact of those land ships as they crash through the enemy waves of rats, and the same thing then goes for the tanks as they head directly for the enemy artillery pieces, just going to ram into them a little bit, do a little bit of damage, but then otherwise essentially keep on moving. Now, of course, it's not just the piles of the machines that are out front, but we've got the flyers and the support machines as well. Gotta have the Wissenberg's welcomers and I guess all the war wagons ready to re-up the ammunition of all of these guys. I'd like to think of it as, they're carrying ammo for them, probably carrying fuel for them as well, the war wagons. It kind of makes sense. Especially war being logistics and all that, these guys would probably need support. Anyway, going to cause as much havoc as we possibly can with those land ships and those tanks. Of course, the land ships, at least in terms of sheer size, look like they absolutely dwarf the steam tanks, but the steam tanks are a fair bit hardier and considerably more difficult to focus down with range fire. A bit of a distributed battle because the enemy is a giant horde of Skaven, and we've essentially, rather than keeping our units blobbed up and together, separated them all and are just repeatedly cycle charging different enemy units and just constantly moving. It does work pretty well, however, as the bounce power has already shifted to 70% in our favor, though I guess it is a little bit difficult to see what the heck is going on since all of the units are in different places. Not a big deal, though. This army is just getting started. This is its debut battle after all, and we will have some battles where we're blobbed up and all of the tanks and land ships together, and we'll see how that works as well. Though admittedly probably not going to do that against enemies that have too much range available to them, because even with 15 ward save and 35% missile resistance, the land ships are fairly vulnerable to missile fire, so they at least have to keep moving. Perhaps not so much for the steam tanks because of their massive armor and 70% missile block from front. Skeleton on your antenna or whatever? Very nice. 100% approval. Oh, love it. Anyway, battle is, if not quite ours, getting there. The reinforcements have arrived, but our land ship and steam tanks are wise to that as well, and will move to meet them. You gotta love the way that the land ships fire in all directions as well. Launching, what is it, they have grenade fire, I take it? They have grenades, mortars, they have a cannon fire. Just lots of nastiness, basically. I guess the Wonder of the Age has the grenades on them, and then the other land ships have regular handgunners. I wonder if we can increase the reload time. No, it says reload time 4 seconds. Wait, no. No, reload time 16.5 seconds. 16.5, that's probably the cannon. Actually, I wonder how all the different units, the different components that make these things up work in terms of their reload time. Do they all fire with the same reload, or is it just only displaying the greatest reload time, maybe? Because I feel like I doubt that they all fire at 16 seconds, but anyway, maybe that's just me. Anyway, the Deliverance, of course, still doing great work and looking pretty good while it does so as well. I do like the different color schemes that we have on the steam tanks in this particular army as well. That'll be pretty nice going forward, especially once we have our last steam tank. Anyway, and bounce power is at about 90% in our favor. Absolute havoc continues, though we have taken about 10-15% damage on a couple of our units of, on a couple of our vehicles. We still have air support flying around, and our ammunition actually looks to be pretty darn okay, so no need to refill that as yet. Oh, it looks like the Deliverance actually took the most damage, but it's also probably dealt the most damage. 600 kills and 50,000 damage so far, and it looks like the enemy has realized that it's not going so well for them. The bounce power continues to shift in our favor. Frankly, I'm surprised that the rats haven't routed yet, because they should be realizing that they have no chance whatsoever. And we probably could have used the units of war wagons a little bit more, but you know, we've had a lot of time to play around with war wagons over the course of the campaign, and I wanted to give the piles of tanks and land ships a little bit more time to play, which they will get in the next battle as well. But anyway, a lovely little fight. Alright, there we go. That was pretty horrifying for the poor little rats, as the machines caused absolute havoc in their back lines. And looking at the damage, it looks like we were roughly even between the steam tanks and the land ship. Surprisingly, the Wonder of the Age did the least, but you know, it's a sample size of one battle, so it may be the fact that they were just that it was not fighting the biggest blobs as compared to some other units. And perhaps unsurprisingly, the most kills and damage on the Deliverance, but it does have that additional steam explosion around it ability, which affords it that chance to do additional damage, so makes sense there. A lovely little fight for TECLIS' debut. Hopefully we'll find him some proper enemies to fight against as well. Alright, enemy killed in battle, long shots cap, you can lose that, we'll give you something. We'll give you plenty of stuff once you have your own steam tank, I mean. Huh. You have a regular barded warhorse, are you? Oh, you need... Okay, yeah, it'll be a bit until you get the mechanical steed. Alright, fair enough. Just get triangulation into... We already have all-terrain vehicle from the other guy. Let's get a restock first. Alright, and the others we'll deal with after. A lovely job. I mean, if we take Carrick Kafir Kamaz, we can also do this trade, and then we wouldn't need to trade Carrick Hearn, but I mean, we gotta trade something. Man, Orion, are you really going to be besieging this for 33 turns? I wonder how the AI will respond, because I feel like Orion's been here for a while, hasn't he? I feel like I haven't seen him move in a fair bit. I mean, Recruiter von whatever. Valmir von Rakov doesn't need to move. Bruno is who again? Oh, you just built this pile of temporary stuff in case Wurzag comes this way, but he might not due to Balthazar Gelt heading his way, so we shall see. But just in case he does, let's get a few halberds here. And, well, I built some of the war wagons last time. Is there such a thing as too many war wagons? I don't know. Is there such a thing as too many Free Company militia? Definitely not. Alrighty, good enough. Pretty cheap in terms of recruiting, so that won't kill off our money in terms of building. Kurt Helborg, I decided that what we're going to do with you is move you down this canal all the way through here, through this canal, under the mountains, and then land at Ravensvak, and, well, obviously capture it. Lovely. And that'll keep you fairly distant from Karl Franz in terms of where you are. We still, though, gotta worry about the rats running around. Yeah, we really need to send an army up here. Might actually divert one of these armies up there before the Ice Court gets wiped out. I really don't want them to lose their main settlement at the very least. Gavin, Gavin 2, Bretonian Boogaloo. You are going to... Oh. I'm willing to bet the auto-resolve hates your army. Alright, let's see what it does to you. Well, actually wasn't so bad. Alright, that one wasn't bad. Doesn't mean the next one won't be horrific, though. Go... Wait, do we need to level you guys? I mean, we could. Alright, fine, let's level them. Remember your training to lead state troops, definitely get that. Oh, wait, no. Officer squad summon would be great, but it kind of... I don't know, it kind of goes against the theme of this army, doesn't it? It's a Bretonnian army, and having a bunch of Imperial officers there's kind of iffy. I guess what we could do is allow the summon, but use the officers not as range units, but as melee units. What do you guys think? Let me know your opinion on that one. They will feel a little bit out of place in this army. Anyway, for now though, remember your training. We are the elite, and did I get a steamed combatant maxed out on the other guy? I might not have. I guess we'll max it out later. Alright, you. 3 points. Magical reserves, earthing, and I'm gonna say transmutation of lead to keep the piles of Bretonnian troops a little bit safer. And then Gavin, you will only benefit out of strength of hardship because we have nothing else here that would benefit our other troops. This is definitely an army that will probably warrant getting quartermaster, but otherwise will want bolstered leadership, though the immunity to psychology would be useless for the Grail Knights, admittedly. And I guess we'll start moving through hard to hit Dan. Well, I'll get 1 point in Sigmar's ward. Alrighty. Now, you can auto-resolve this. I assume you can auto-resolve this. I'll take some damage, but I'm gonna hope that it's not horrific. Nah, it's fine. Surprisingly, the auto-resolve isn't killing the Grail Relics or the War Drum. Actually kind of shocked by it. Alright, then you can pop in here and occupy it. And then you can leave the place, even if you won't heal up as much, simply because we don't want this guy besieging you and insta-killing. Well, actually, even if he does besiege you, he won't insta-kill anybody here, will he? Do we risk it? I might just wait here. Risk it. Armor Meteoric Iron, nice, finding some iron. And you guys have 2 settlements remaining. Alright, fair enough. We'll be trading all of this stuff to the Cathans up here. And we'll need to position you to get ready to fight up here, because, you know, several armies need to be positioned in the appropriate places before we begin the war with the Poxmakers, with our Crusader forces, because they're, you know, the border is pretty big with them. Can't risk them just going through our armies, through the gaps in our lines, and then attacking us elsewhere. You don't need to move, you're fine as you are. Crusader, Wolfric Giga, you are going to go into an encamp stance right here. And we want to get you 2 more snow leopards. Let's see what we got. Daughters of the Forest. Okay, so we can't get them from you. Can we get them from either of the... Well, they're too expensive from the Ice Court, because everything's stupidly expensive from the Ice Court. Actually, 27 isn't that much more expensive. Huh. Yeah, we should probably save that for the Ice Guard, because we don't have the ability to build them out of any of the other factions. You can't build Ice Guard, and then... I guess we'll find out what the what the other guys can build next turn. Anyway, so you're free to wait here for a bit. We'll take a look at these guys in a second. Philip Ivan, you're going to go here as well. And okay, so I guess now we just have to move these guys around and figure this out. So, the cavalry army will also presumably need at least some Empire captaincy. I'm not going to bother fishing for traits. Let's go for champion. And just as a decent, universally useful one. And you... Wait. Or you? Oh. You need to build Knights of the Black Rose for this army, so you're actually going to go back here until these guys are constructed, and I guess we gotta wait for the recruitment. Oh, we have to deliver some of these troops as well, including the Sigmarite Disciples, to another army, or specifically to Volkmar, so we can get a, let's say, Huntsman General, since we generally use these guys to transfer units. And then we'll make you into another troop train. You got deliveries to make, and oh, rank 12 would have given us the additional campaign movement range, but oh well, what can you do? We'll ignore the rest of that. Well, we can get a little bit of extra XP out of Inspiring Presence, and you know what, let's get Fervent. Anything else here? Increase our anti-corruption. This gives us Headhunter would be useful, but we don't... Nah. Anti-corruption? Anti-corruption? No. Alright, Irrepressible, and I guess, I don't know, Quartermaster Alert. Nah, let's go for Alert. Alright, there we go. Now, I believe that was the end of the line minus Dolph, who I did say I'm willing to let stay there for a moment to take advantage of the additional points, allegiance points that we get. Let's do building, and let's end the turn. Alright, Farlick Hills, you're good. Brockel. Oh, we could try to move back here with you. Yeah, you won't reach it in time. Let's just build what we can. Alright, what are we missing here? And definitely a temple, and I think we have enough menageries, but we do need more Empire Captain capacity, so we'll do that. As for the temple, like I said, we are generally, or have generally been doing... Yeah, I mean, this is Middenheim Road. It feels like a Chapel of Ulrich location. Fair enough. Temple of Sigmar. Great Forest. We've got a little bit of money making, and what do we have here? Toll gates. Yes to the tap room. Definitely need the public order bonus here, and let's start with that Wizard's Conclave. River Talabek. Yes to the additional captain capacity and the temple. Upgrade your temple to the max, and you are done now. Alright, meaning you can switch to, I guess, Imperial Taxation. Howling Hills, yes to the toll gates, yes to the public order and slash tap room, and yes to the Wizard's Conclave. Old Dwarf Road, money, public order, and minor temple. The Veld. Toll gates, coaching in, public order, and let's go with Wizard's Conclave and I guess Forge, because we do those everywhere. Blue Reach. Yeah, you're fine. Alrighty, and ooh, hello, Grand Temple of Sigmar will max out Eilhart as well, meaning you can now go into Imperial Taxation, can't you? Though, frankly, you don't generate a lot of cash anyway, so, probably doesn't matter over much. Schadensumpf, yeah, oh, wait. It's actually pretty expensive, and I did say that we could push up here anyway, so let's build the Wizard Conclave, and then we'll be able to upgrade it immediately next turn, as soon as, the guy gets there. And I guess the Forge as well. Alrighty. Kolsa Hills. I don't remember where this is. Krugenheim? Oh, it's in Talabek Clan territory. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Let's go for the tap room there. Paravon. A yes to the Clothier. And we still will need to trade some of that Bretonian stuff, but, well, we'll deal with it. Anyway, toll gates, public order, and capacities of all the types, although our wizard capacity is at this point gotten pretty okay, so we don't have to worry about it too much. Aesir Pass we're not holding on to, and ooh, wow, this is very cornate now. Yeah, we really need to get a move on and taking these territories away from Scarby, and then pop off an Inquisition as soon as we can as well. Delved Heights we will be trading, so we can ignore. This place traded, right? Yeah. Traded Monfa we are actually keeping, so keep the farm. Leonas will be traded, but it might behoove us to upgrade it more in order to make it more valuable. In terms of when we trade it, Old Strigos you will be traded as well, though funnily enough, you're actually built fairly well. This is all, basically all the stuff that we want to build for ourselves. I don't think we'll keep it, but we can start building stuff there just in case we do, since it's already a decent territory. Taproom here, definitely go for the weave. You know what, let's actually spam fields in this particular territory. I wanted growing as fast as possible because we want to get the Great Dome up to tier 5 as fast as possible. Which will take some time. Though with that open the gate ability, it's a lot faster than it would otherwise be, so still pretty okay. Aquitaine, Dervan, Libra, we will be trading you. Carcarn, same thing. Same thing. Myrmidons, probably keeping. And is that it? Is there anything else that is in our territory? Just gonna double check real quick, but I think we're ready to end the turn. Dead Rock Gap, yeah, we're training you as well. Quenelle, partially keeping, minus Parash, but I guess we can keep upgrading the place. Make it worth more for when we eventually trade it. Alrighty, Deadwood, ooh, more time, yes. Okay, we're not collecting income here because we need additional public order, and we should also probably build the paved roads there. Alrighty, there we go. Brittle Peaks, yes to the Obsidian Trinket Maker, and start moving to the training field. Additional Empire Captain capacity. Need a lot of those Empire Captains to buff everybody up. Icetooth Mountains is fine, Black Mounds to be traded, Blackfire Pass. I might as well upgrade you, we've still got a little bit of cash remaining, and then Karnas for... Ooh, wait. That also means we don't have to ever click on you again, meaning we can pop you freely into State Troop Levy. And Heldegrad, we are probably holding on to you. But for now, we are free to end the turn. Outpost... Oh, actually, are we? Are we? Let's check all outposts. So, Ice Court, yes, upgrade. Yes, upgrade this. Ooh, wonder if we can get some stuff out of Court of Libaras. Unfortunately, because we have no wars with anybody near them, all of their stuff will be insanely expensive, which is going to be the main issue. Oh, I forgot about the Order of the Winter Sun. I wonder if we can build the snowcats from them. We'll find that out in a second. And then everybody else here is fine, I take it? Outposts, don't really need one with Arguelon, and frankly we don't have a lot of allegiance with anybody down here, and I don't care much for them anyway. Alright, let's ignore that. I just want to double check those other Kislevites in case we can build more snow leopards.
Tracker of distinction.
Yeah. Knights, Panthers, Snow Leopards. Could have also done War Lions, but I think I like the idea of the Snow Leopards a little bit more here. Anyway, where were we? Order of the Winter Sun. Yes they do. Beautiful. Alrighty. And similarly, they can't build any of the other fancy stuff that we want. Frostworms, but nonetheless, at least this will effectively enable the army to move, -2 Empire Captains to buff all the horse, and 1 Mage to, I guess, similarly to buff all the horse. Lovely. Alright, now we can end the turn. Wow, okay, so Order of Lore Masters are going to cause a massive problem. Did we get any units from them? I don't think we did we? Well, that's really annoying. Exiles, I can't believe they're going to attack the Exiles of Nehek. Ugh. I don't think we want to part of either one of these. I'm gonna say decline and break. Does that decline and break both of those alliances? Or does it only decline and break theirs? I don't know. It's so rare that I do this. Frickin' elves, and of course it's frickin' TECLIS that does this. I shouldn't have done the... Well, I guess he would have attacked this and they had a defensive alliance anyway, and that would have still been a problem. Go figure. Or do we just attack the Exiles in the heck? I mean, we have a bigger border with TECLIS, and I guess we haven't really been fighting the Tomb Kings. That's really annoying, though. I guess Khemri won't like it. Well, fine. We could probably actually immediately peace out with them. Yeah, enter war inside. Wait. You know what? I don't think I've ever had this, so... If we click enter war inside of ally here, does it mean we're on... Who's... Uh-oh. I just realized I don't know what this means. Enter war on side of the Order of Lore Masters? Or enter war on side of ally against the Lore Masters? Which one means which? Damn, if only I could remember. That's a problem. You know, I'm just gonna say decline because I don't know which one's which. It would be easy to tell if it was one attacking the other and you only had one option, but I don't remember which one. I'm tempted to say it's like this, but I could be wrong. Let's try it like this and see whose war we end up. It's kind of counterintuitive, isn't it? Or is it like this? I guess we're about to find out. Enter war on side of ally. Is it against them? No. Looks like the orcs will sally out, but I think we've seen Gavin win against like twice or 3 times as many troops with Grimgor in the lead, and this is just not worth our time, so we'll auto-resolve this one. Alrighty, so it does look like, despite all that confusion, extreme confusion, I did manage to choose correctly, and it looks like that was indeed a war against the Tomb Kings, and the ally means the ally that's on that part of the screen, which I guess makes sense. Alrighty, still confusing, but anyway, ally loses outpost, I got that confederation between Victus and Verms, Outrider, Imperial Griffin for Boris Broch, I don't remember who that is. Black Wastes province secured? Oh, this. And Grimgor destroyed. Lovely. Crooked Moon and Bloody Spears are gonna confed. Well, that won't help them survive, at least not for long. Marius Lightdorf is back. Madblight Tribe. Oh, okay, so they're going to be near to Karl, aren't they? You can pop into Host Festag for now. And Marius, you need to replace Mr. Theon. Alright, so Theon, Huh? Oh. I don't know why I bothered resetting instead of just disbanding him, but anyway, reset skill points. We might actually have a use for you and your tacticianing. And Marius Leitdorf. And you're back. You have defensive. Huh. Which is actually kind of useless for this army as well, because it originally had halberdiers, so the trade isn't great, but, you know, I still kind of like him here, so he's gonna stick around, and we'll do his level ups before we attack. Anyway, what I would like to see now is this. If we talk to you, we're not immediately able to peace out, eh? What if... wait, are we able to trade them Fellwing Cave? It's gonna piss off the elves, but frankly, they caused some problems here, and I'm kind of... Oh, wow. War with Reikland. Oh, these guys are not gonna like each other. And then are these guys not gonna like us for giving us a gift? For us giving a gift to them? It's a possibility. Well, either way, I think what we'll do is this. You, Gelt, are going to move towards Nakara, where we'll ignore Sharpthorn Forest for now, mostly because I don't want this guy going after undefended territories. Oh, he can't cross immediately? Well, that's annoying. Huh, you would actually be able to reach this next turn if you go here, and then go into ambush. I don't think they're going to try it, but let's give them a chance. And then you can get at least 1 point in Pistol Core to help out. Anyway, the thing I would like to do is take, let's say, Fellwing Cave. And then give it to these guys. Rather than dealing with them. And don't get me wrong, we could fight them, but I don't know. How does Hemry feel about this? Broken treaties with exiles of Nehek. Yeah, kinda dislike it, but the Tomb Kings are pretty okay about you doing that stuff. Oh, Hemry won't like us attacking the Disciples of the Maw. Well, you know what, maybe we'll leave the war, maybe it'll be fun. Unfortunately, oh, I don't want to lose Putrid Tar Pits, though. We've spent a long time investing in these territories. Huh. I guess what we could do... Wait. What do we have in terms of available summons? Yeah, we got Teutogan Guard, we got Imperial Foot, we got some Ogres, Gundermans. Yeah, we got some stuff that we could immediately summon into a defensive army there, and probably at least be able to defend the Tar Pits against these two armies. I am extremely annoyed by the fact that the elves have caused this issue, but I am not whatsoever surprised. They're not even done with taking out the Khornates here. They randomly decided to attack this faction that, by the looks of it, they didn't even hate. Look at that. Their attitude was minus 30 and is now going to minus 76. I'm pretty sure they were reasonably friendly with each other. Well, I guess the size of the Crusade just got a lot bigger. If we're going to have to deal with these guys as well. Man, it just annoys me because I wanted to give all of this territory to these guys so that they could hold it, because it's all red territory garbage. And we can't really get the dwarfs down here unless we go through this, and it's going to take a long time to do that. Kind of iffy. Kind of annoying. But what can you do? Ooh, Kemmler's nearby. It's lovely. And we got another little army here, so I guess we'll be declaring war on these guys next. Well, probably next episode. I think this is probably a good place to call it. I can at least do all the hero moving around and the admin between the episodes. And Scarbrand, you pathetic little coward. You ran away. Khorne is going to... Well, I don't know what he's going to clip now, but you're not going to enjoy it. Oh, well. And he left the Tower of Crack, which is his capital? No, it's just a tier 5 settlement. Maybe if we besiege it, he'll move in to reinforce. I'm going to hope that that's the case. We can also trade Frigistrex's lair to Boris, maybe, and they'll maybe attack us due to anti-player buys. But anyway, we'll deal with that next time, because I'm going to call it here, do the admin, and then when we come back, clearly, we've got plenty more battles to fight. As it's a brand new turn and a big old new crusade, I guess we'll need more armies down here as well. Well, can't trust those undead. Maybe the Sigmarites were right all along. Stay tuned for more Karl. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, as they will determine how long this campaign will continue to run for. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.